Hey, everybody. Welcome to Dad, Daughters, and Drinks, where you'll always get at least two of those three. Today I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, and so I'm drinking tea, although there may be a little something in it to kill the germs, if you know what I mean. Um, so it's been a little while since I've reacted. Before I get started on this reaction, I just want to talk about my new format and how I'm going to be doing song selection. So every day that I react, I think I'm starting off with Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Today being Friday, I'm going to do a reaction. I'm going to post it. The next week, when I go to do the reaction on Friday, I'm going to look at the previous week's video, go to the comments, whatever comment has the most likes on it that has a song recommendation. That's the one that I'm going to react to. So ultimately, it's up to anybody who's commenting or going through the comments and liking them to decide what song I'm going to do next. And I'm not tied down to any format or type of music or this band or any band. I just discovered, last time I was doing reactions, I was struggling to pick what song to react to, oftentimes because you just get tons and tons and tons of requests. I had these spreadsheets with, probably was getting into the thousands of songs that were in a backup, and I felt bad that I, was leaving some out. And ultimately just decided I'll leave it up to you guys. So every week I'll react to whatever it is that you guys want me to react to based on the previous week's comments. And so whichever comment, single comment, has the most likes, that's what I'm going to do. So if you have a song that you want me to do and you see it in the comments, like it. If you create a separate comment and you put the song in there, then it probably won't count because I'm not going to be combining multiple, comments and things. I just decided the easiest way to do it and the fastest way is to just look and see what has the most likes and do that song next. And so last time I was reacting, I had a few different types of styles of music I was reacting to, kind of more often than not. And so Freeze the Fall was one of my, favorite bands that I had been reacting to from Canada. And I'm, kind of from the Canadian Baja, Buffalo, New York. And so, yeah, I have really enjoyed this band, new band. I think they're all still teenagers, but man, can they rock. I've really enjoyed their videos. And so I'm going to kick off my Friday rabbit hole with Freeze the Fall, Hypothermia. This video was just released, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, so it's pretty fresh. I can't wait to get to it. So let's do it. Is that a really short guy, or is that somebody on their knees? He looks kind of like a Viking. He's got like a crown on or something. He's got kind of like the long Viking hair and beard. I assume it's a guy. It could be a female dwarf or something. Right? I think Gimli says that they all have beards. But I love Viking culture. I drink out of Viking horns, and even my pizza cutter is a Viking axe. So if this is going to have a Viking theme, I'm all for that. What did that say? It's a little dark. I'm having trouble seeing what it says on that side. Hypothermia? Okay, I think it's hypothermia. All right. Oh, just freaking name of the song. Sorry, maybe I've had too much of that tea already. Ah! They're performing in the cold. I know some of their first videos they shot were in a barn that was apparently pretty cold. You could see their breath coming off their mouths when they were breathing. So I imagine just decided to step it up a notch. With the name Freeze the Fall, songs Hypothermia, I guess you got to go full on and record in the cold. Now, I'm sure they're not actually recording, but you know what I mean. So that's a cool cover on those drums. That was like kind of like bark. I don't think I've seen him have that kind of style of drum before, but that's pretty cool. Was her nose pink for me? That's awesome. I am. I didn't pull up the lyrics before I did this. I should have done that. I'm having a hard time understanding what she's saying, but that's common for me. That's not the music necessarily. I always have a hard time with the lyrics. But the auto generation, I assume they're going to be auto generated ones. Yeah, it's usually nonsense. On the roll, wait. So I'm trying to make sure I'm following, because I'm sure I'm not, the connection of the person who's got the book. Is that like some sort of a witch or something? And so now the witch is casting spells on them, and that's how they're all of a sudden getting cuts. I wonder if these are like some sort of Viking runes that mean something, or if they're just cool symbols. Whoa. They lies. Looks like it's starting to say lies, but that S got cut off. Oh, that's cool. Even the drum heads kind of have that wood bark look to them. All right. So did she do like a little circle in the book, and then that's what showed up around them on the field? Right there, yeah. So the witch has the red hair. She kind of reminds me of, what's the woman in Game of Thrones, the red-haired witch? It's not Alessandra, but it's something kind of like that. Not that it like looks like her or anything, but that's just kind of what the red-haired witch in the hood reminds me of. All right, I gotta stop it on this one. It's pretty cool. was wondering if we're going to be able to ever see her. Man, do they look cold. Is it? There's some whispering going on. I'm going to turn up a little bit. So who ultimately went into the water? She did. Sorry, turn it up a little bit there. And I didn't turn it back down. So there's like actually legit teams working on this video. So I assume Factor, the foundation assisting Canadian talent on recordings, has probably helped fund that. Some other grants as well. Orphanarium. Is that like an album or is that a... What is orphanarium? It's a cool word. So that was pretty solid. I wish I could understand the lyrics a little bit better. But I didn't want to stop and pull them up on my phone. I figured I would just enjoy the music and enjoy the video. A lot of times when there's like really engaging videos, I end up getting largely distracted by what's going on the screen. And the music kind of becomes the soundtrack for that. And I have a hard time paying attention to lyrics and the music and the video all at the same time because I'm old and I have the inability to multitask. So I enjoyed what it was musically. I wish there was a guitar solo. I'm a sucker for good guitar solos. I play, at least I used to play, and just I always in rock music enjoy a good, even if it's not a real long one, just a little fill or something. But I don't really hear anything in there. But that's okay. I'm nitpicking on something that was really good. I'll have to watch it a couple more times to see if I can understand exactly what happened in the video. At first, it seemed like it was two separate things going on. There was some sort of a plot related to, this witch, and who was apparently the king, the bearded guy. Although he didn't seem to be acting very kingly, but I suppose if there's a witch around, you do what she says. And then there was like them performing off in the woods, right? And I kind of thought that there would be a separate, like they were doing like a soundtrack for whatever was going on with the witch. Turns out that somehow they ended up coming together. The witch was doing stuff to them in the book, cutting him up, knocking him in the water, whatever. They get back out. And I guess, the power of their music overpowered the witch when the witch went to go fight them in person. And she ended up being the one in the water. That's what I got out of it. There was a lot in the lyrics that I could hear in the chorus, especially about lies. And then there was kind of that whole like carving of lies that was showing up. So maybe this would make a little bit more sense if I actually read the lyrics. But either way, I really enjoyed it. It was a good first video to get me back in. These guys should be really proud of all the cool music and videos they're making. I'm glad to see that that they're actually progressing along. Good stuff. So yeah, remember to whatever you want me to react to next week. It could be Freeze the Fall. It could be something completely different. It doesn't even necessarily need to be music. Whatever you want it is. Whatever you want it is. Whatever you want me to react to, go to the comments, put in a comment, like a comment if what you want is there already. And when we get to next Friday, that's what I'm going to do. I hope everybody has a great weekend and a great next week. And I will see you all again on the next one. Thanks.